Welcome to Sit and Knit for a Bit. I'm your host, Melissa. You can find me on Ravelry at Aurora Evermore. I also do appear every once in a while on the Facebook group Sit and Knit for a Bit. Yes, it has the same name. I actually created the name, created that Facebook page years ago, but have handed off the admin to better people. For those of you that have been here before, welcome back to my yarn room. And for those of you who are new, welcome to my yarn room. I put out a post about our new video about once a month or so, just depending on how I feel about how much content I have to show you guys. And lately I know it's been slowing down. And not that my knitting's been slowing down, it's more of I don't have a lot of different things to show you, I guess. I don't know. Not a lot of, definitely not any finished objects to show you guys. And so, but I thought I'd give you a quick little update on what has been going on. So yeah, this will be a quick video probably. I have a lot of studying to do this weekend, but we'll get to that later. Today I am drinking one of my favorite teas is Summer Solstice, and I think you can find different brands. Just some loose leaf tea. It's a nice sweet floral tea. I think there's like even hibiscus and maybe rose and stuff. It's pretty good. Ooh, I haven't had it in a while. And then when I do drink it, I'm like, oh yeah, I remember why I like it. So, excuse me. I have I've been working on about 4 projects lately. And getting ready for another one, which is my advent calendar for next Christmassy holiday, whatever you celebrate. That was actually, I think, my last video. So what I'm doing is I'm creating my own advent calendar of some scrap sock weight yarn. So if you want to get involved with that, I would recommend you watching that video. I'm hoping I want to do more posts about it on Facebook and maybe even do kind of like a knit along with it. But I'll give you just a quick brief. So what I'm doing is I have a book that I will be reading. So I tore apart the book. Don't worry, I already repurchased the book, and as soon as it arrives, it'll go back on the shelf. But it's like a Christmas knitting themed novel. And then so each day I get a section of the book to read, about a chapter or so. Just I kind of try to break it up as best I could. If there was like a long chapter, then I try to make it where the next day was a little bit shorter. That way, if I don't finish that day, which I will try, then I can finish the next day and I don't get too far behind. Anyway, once again, that other video is going to tell you all the details. And then I am going to knit with 2 strands of different colors, random colors at the same time. I think I'm going to still do a scarf. And what it is one of the colors will bleed over and into the next days. And then, but I will also introduce a new color for that day. And then that new color that I introduced will bleed on for the 4th day or whatever. And then so on and so forth. Once again, that other video will explain all the details. If you do have any questions, because I know it's kind of a confusing thing I thought of, please let me know and I'll be happy to explain it to you. So, with that being said, I'm using my scrap yarn, and I think I've got totes over there with Christmas gift bags that I've put tea and other stuff in, and then the part of the book I'm supposed to be reading every day. And I'm literally, as soon as I have a ball of yarn ready, of scrap yarn, I am throwing it in a random day and then stapling it closed. So, and where I'm getting that scrap yarn from is because I already have a scrap sock yarn project going, which is my cozy memory blanket. I'm almost done with this square, and I started this several years ago. If you know anything about scrap blankets, they do take a long time, but earlier this year I was like, you know what, I really want to get some work done on this, because the project bag that it normally sits in was actually getting kind of full of a bunch of yarns I needed to add to it. So one of my goals this year was not to finish this, but just to get kind of caught up. Because I don't think I touched it at all last year. So what I've been doing is I've actually been taking it to class with me, and I can almost get a square done in the class. Now, my squares are bigger than like the actual pattern for Cozy Memory Blanket, because by the time I went to start this, the pattern wasn't free anymore, and so it was no longer in my my library on Ravelry. And I was like, you know what, I know how to do a metered square from another project, so I'll just do my own. And I didn't know how many stitches to do. I do 61. I think most people do like 51, but it's fine. It actually will go by faster. Just my square is a little bit bigger, and my squares take a little bit longer to finish, which is fine because I also use more yarn for it. So that is this one. So anyway, so as soon as I'm finished with a square, then I will grab the yarn. And this was already a small project that I worked on, so there's a lot of yarn left. I will go ahead, and as soon as I finish the square, I will throw this in a random advent calendar bag. And then what I had left over after that will go probably into another bag or a jar or something as another scrap yarn project. I don't know. Maybe the following year's advent calendar. Who knows? 2 scrap yarn projects going at once is enough. So, yep, that is... Oh, and for school purposes, that is being housed in one of my favorite bags I got while in Wisconsin for my grandmother's funeral last, I think, August. And it also has my favorite pin on it, which is Sip Sip Knit. Yes, because I drink tea and knit. And I'm sure there's a lot of dog hair up here. But I absolutely love this bag. I don't know the maker. And there's not a tag. There is a couple button or pockets, but if you watch any of my episodes, you know that I don't know the names of anything. So there's that. What'll probably happen as soon as I get enough yarn for the advent calendar, this will probably go back on hold. Oh well, but in the meantime, I'm at least catching up. Okay, oops. Don't want to forget this. Oh, these are bamboo knitting needles, and I actually cut them and shortened them and like filed a new tip down. I'm used to working with circular needles, so it's less like elbow flying all over the place. But when I first started the Cozy Memory Blanket, I was having trouble with the cabling of the circular needle I was using. It was just getting all tangled with the yarn. I don't know. There was just something funky, and it just wasn't working right. So I grabbed some straight knitting needles, and especially when I'm working on it in class, since the project, the square is only so big, I didn't need that much of a needle. I mean, it was a standard, what was that, a foot long knitting needle, and I kept tapping this part on the, kiwi. I kept tapping this part on the table, the desk, and it's a very small classroom, and I was afraid I was bothering my classmates, and so I just like, you know what, this project's gonna take years to finish. I'm totally happy with cutting these down and filing them and making them pretty, and I feel like I did a great job. I can't even tell anymore that I did that. I mean, they look so professional. I took some dog toenail clippers, cut it to the length I wanted, then used a knife, like a switchblade knife, and kind of got it in the rough shape of a point, and then I took a nail file and just filed it down because I don't have any like sandpaper. It was as close as I had. And I think I did really well. I have no idea if this is showing up. Now this needle is bent, so it already is a little wonky when you do this. See? But it had nothing to do with me cutting it. It was already like that. Yeah, this is the bamboo of it just kind of bent. Oh well. So anyway, so if you have that situation and you're totally willing to do it, go for it. Okay. Sorry, of course my nose is gonna run. Alright, let me drink some more tea, and then I think I will get into what I've been working on the most. So, and I'm pretty sure I've mentioned it, I've been hired to knit some airplane motif washcloths to sell at the store I volunteer at while on vacation that I go every year. So I have 3 different patterns, and I'm doing 10 each of the patterns, and so that's 30 total. I have it in my airplane bag I found off Etsy. Once again, I have no idea the name of it. And I finished 2 last night. So I have 2 that are drying, so I can't show you them. I don't have any finished in here. So I've been putting the finished ones after I block them in this tin that I stole from work. It's like a cookie chocolate tin from a Christmas time, you know, a couple years ago. And I love tins because of things like this. And so I take them as many times as I can, and I will use them as much as I can. So here is all the ones I finished except the 2 that are blocking. I'm not going to show you every single one. I'll show you different patterns. But I have 2 of each left to do. So that's 6 that I need to do out of 30. So I have 24. So there's really 22 here. I'm so excited to get this done. Mostly because it's a weight off my shoulders. I don't have to stress about getting it done because it's already done. And I want to be able to ship it to the store manager, owner, that way, because this is in a different state, that way she can like put price tags on them and stuff like that, because she opens up the store and gets everything ready weeks before I'm able to get up there. So, but anyway, I'm going to try to pick out the best colors that you can kind of see with this lighting. Maybe this, I don't know. I don't know. Can you see the, maybe if I tilt it like that. You see the airplane? I know, it's not the best. I'll show you a couple. Maybe this blue. This is the same style airplane. I don't know. I think that's even worse. Ugh. I knew they wouldn't show up because I didn't want to do actual color work, because I didn't want to deal with the changing of the colors and waving on all the ends and these weird bumps between knits and pearls when you change colors. And since these are to be sold, especially to, to people that don't, know anything about knitting, more than likely, I didn't want it to be too complicated. Here is a different airplane pattern. I think you can see it. That green's a little bit better to see. And then the other one, I don't know. Ooh, I have a green one of that one too. It's like a jet, almost like an airliner jet. Oh gosh, you can see it's pretty much just pearl bumps to make on the knit bumps to make the pattern. But anyway, I have 6 more to go. I'm so excited. I usually do 1 of each, and I'm thinking, just to keep it simple, because I keep losing track of how many I've done, and I keep counting, I think I'm just going to do 2, just get the 2 done of one pattern, then get the 2 done of the next pattern, and that way I'm just done. Now, I did buy a special tool, mostly for this project, but I will definitely use it for later projects. I got this off of Amazon. It is like a little notebook. It actually looks like a iPad cover. It came in a couple different colors. I was really afraid of getting this kind of light, gray blue, because I figured over time dirt will show up. So I've been trying to be really careful with it, but The only other color I was thinking about getting was like a forest green, but I just didn't feel like it. So anyway, on the inside, it is magnetic. It's got 2 sides. So this is like half a sheet. Okay, so this would be a full sheet folded. And then it's got these magnets that you can use to stick the pattern on and then also keep track of where you are on the graph. And I just move it up as I go. Pretty simple. And I've got all 3 patterns right here, and so when I'm done with one pattern, I just switch out the paper. But this is the actual pattern for one of them, and it's a free pattern on Ravelry, so I can show it. The other 2, I looked at an image and just put in dots. So I technically created it myself, but anyway. But yes, I absolutely love this little notebook thing. It is a little bit on the hefty side, so it's definitely, well, not that it's not good for travel, but if you're trying to travel light, maybe not quite. But it with graph things and stuff like that, just works perfect. So super happy. It would also make a good gift for any knitter, if you know anybody that you need to get a gift to. So anyway, so I've been working on those feverishly, just trying to get them done. That way I can go when I'm done. With that being said, I have not been working on a lot of the other stuff, which is why I have not podcasted in a while, and it's kind of lame. Let's just go with the smallest. So, if you've watched this, you know that I like to hike, and while I'm hiking or walking or whatever, I also knit, and I usually knit on socks because they're small and simple. And so this is this year's first hiking / walking, or if I need a project that is like no nonsense that I don't have to look at, you know, like one night I worked on it while at my brother's for a bonfire in the dark. I brought him over. Obviously I wasn't walking, but anyway, some self-striping socks. To tell you the truth, I think the stripes are so... I love self-striping socks, but I think these color combinations is actually really gross. And I remember years ago, I was like, oh, I'll start making these. And I started knitting them. I was like, these are awful. And I actually ripped them out. But then part of me is like, well, what else am I going to do with that yarn? If there is sparkles in it, which I do like. And so I decided, I'm like, fine, I'll just have some ugly striped socks. And I'm sorry to anybody that actually likes them. I mean, it's not awful. Okay, anyway. I don't know. I got the yarn as one of those when the lady passed away and everything was $3 each. It was one of those. Just grabbed. And I don't think there was a ball band on it. So I finished that one. Here, I'll show you what it looks like caked up. See, caked up you can't really tell. Like, oh, it's just rainbowy. Not too bad. So I finished that first one, and then I've started this one. I'm about an inch away from starting the heel increases. I plan on working on this a lot this weekend, because I have been getting into walking, and I will be taking this with me while walking. And pretty much for me, once obviously the foot is a lot longer than the you know, I don't like socks that go way up high. This is only 3 inches. And so like this part seems to take me forever, and then as soon as I do the heel, it's like poof, I'm done. So, and I've, you know, for the most part almost finished those. So anyway, that is being housed in this bag that actually has a tag, so let me read it real quick after I unscrunch it from my carabiner. This is, I clip it onto my like water backpack belly bladder thing when I'm hiking, and so I have one of these on here. This is Mid Miller Designs. Hopefully that's coming up. And I like it because it's got a see-through window, and then it's got a really cute pattern on the inside of like sheep, like sweater designed sheep, I guess you can call it. So I started using this one because of the size and because it's black on the outside, and when I'm hiking and camping and stuff like that, things get dirty. And this doesn't show up. It doesn't show up on this. So it ended up being the perfect one for that. I used to have a different one. It was a little bit better of a shape, and I can't find that shape again. I keep looking on Etsy. It was like a box, and then it had a nice band, like an armband over the top, and I used to be able just to sling it onto my arm, and that was great for walking. I wish I could find something like that again. I haven't been able to. That was my go-to for when I was walking around, like at the air show, and I could just slip it on my arm and then just sit there and knit. But it was nice and small and compact. I would leave the little zipper open a little bit so the yarn would come out, and then while we're walking around, we get a lot of like freebies. I actually collect a lot, or not really collect, but I get a lot of like chapstick things from companies for free. And I'm pretty sure. Oh no, this is Burt's Bees. Never mind. But anyway, that way I can just throw them in there. Or you get a lot of like mints and candies and stuff. So I guess anyway, you don't need to know all that. But speaking of, this one has my pin, my EA Women in Aviation, Women Venture Year 15 pin on it. If anybody knows what that is. For my walks, I really want to find a bag that's got a strap for my arm for walking around the neighborhood. I might start a new pair of socks. I have a couple coworkers that want a pair of socks, so maybe that will be my designated, although I do like those knitting needles. I'll see how many knitting needles I have that I like. I like them. I don't like the stick ones, the bamboo ones when I'm hiking, because they look like sticks, so if I drop them, they're gone. These are still somewhat hard to find, but I can at least find them a little bit easier since they're shiny. They're metal ones, or aluminum, I think. They're my favorite, and I've been trying to find them since. I'm trying to think what brand they were. Knitter's Pride? The package was black. I think it was Knitter's Pride, like Zing. I don't know. Anyway, I like them because they're nice and short. They're not the 6-inch long. They're like 5 inches long. So once again, there's not giant needles going everywhere. So anyway, but yes, I think I will. I think I'll start a new pair of socks for when I'm walking, and use it in a different bag instead of switching them out back and forth. Plus, it gives me an excuse to cast on another project. Okay, one last thing to show you guys, and it is my current sweater I've been working on. I think I've shown it to you before. It's my purple one. I'm using the same pattern as the gray sweater I finished this last winter, December time. Sorry, my phone just rang. Yeah. This will get a lot of love this weekend. It hasn't gotten a lot because I've been working on the washcloths, but I have to do a lot of school studying this weekend. And okay, so the washcloths, I have to be able to look at the pattern and stuff and count, and so it's not good for studying, because studying, I'm looking at what I'm studying. So it's good TV knitting, where the sweater, right now all I'm doing is stocking neck, because I'm doing the body. I don't have to look at it, and so it's perfect. It's perfect study knitting. I'm losing my mind over here. And in fact, I think that one of the last times I worked on this, I was at a campfire, and so it smells like campfire. It smells so good. I'm going to have to air it out this weekend. But anyway, the pattern is, I think that's Simply Raglan. Simple Raglan sweater. Where's the front page? Oh, it's right there. I don't know why I couldn't find it. Real Easy Raglan by Maker Maker. It literally is the same pattern as I did with that gray one, but it's just slightly different. Well, it's a different kind of yarn. It's actually a thinner yarn. So it's going to be a little bit of a thinner sweater. So lighter, not as heavy. And obviously a different color. So I did the yoke and then split off for the sleeves. And now I am pretty much, I've only gotten like an inch since splitting off for the sleeves. So I'm just doing the torso. So once again, this is going to get a lot of love this weekend. I will be able to do a lot of this straight stockinette. So it's just a nice plum purple. I'll show you a yarn band in just a second. Nothing too crazy. I'm probably going to make these sleeves a little bit longer because I have more yarn, and since it's a thinner yarn. Okay. Oh, maybe I don't have a yarn band. Oh no. Well, you're gonna have to go on Ravelry. I don't know why I don't have. When I cake them up, I usually put the yarn bands either at the bottom of the bags or in there. But I've also been using that for other stuff, and so I think I took out the ball bands and never put them back in. Yep. Sorry, folks. You'll have to go on the Ravelry and think you're ready for the day. But, so that's, like I said, it's going to get a lot of work and a lot of love this weekend. And hopefully I get a good amount done on that torso. Because this year, like I've said, I want to do a lot of sweaters, a lot of different shirt, sweater, garment type knitting this weekend. Or this year. And so that is my plan. This is my second one since doing that, even though the other one I got done before the beginning of the year, but you know what I mean. Once I finish the washcloths, I'm hoping to finish those. The camera's actually sitting on a little Tupperware, and it's got, although that purple, it's got scrap purple yarn ready for a multi type. Well, it's all one color. It's all purple. No, it's a shawl. But anyway, so once I finish the washcloths, I want to cast that on. I've been waiting to cast that on for a long time. So hopefully by the next time I podcast, I will have cast that on and can talk more about it. I have mentioned it and showed off the pattern, or at least the pattern picture. It is a paid-for pattern on Ravelry in another podcast. I won't pull it out today because, first of all, you guys will get seasick because I'll have to move you. But nothing's happening to it right now anyway, so there's not much to say. I will talk about it once I start it. But yes, I think that's what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to get a sock project ready for when I go walking, and then just continue on. So I think that is it for knitting content. So if you don't want to hear anything about my crazy life, I would suggest signing off right now. If you want to stick around and listen to me blab about my life, I would stay. Hello, thank you for staying. Just a few things to talk about, nothing too crazy. I think 3 things. One is I am trying to lose weight. Hopefully you guys can tell. I still have a little bit more to go, but I actually went back and kind of was looking at a couple of videos ago, like early January, late December time. I was my heaviest, and I looked bad. I looked really bad. I was so round. I know I'm still a little round, but I'm working on it. Anyway, this is not a health video, so I won't get into details, but just that I've been trying to eat right and mostly walking. I got one of these, like, I call them fake Fitbit things, like a step counter, and I've been trying to get roughly 8,000 steps a day, minus school night because I just don't have time, and then every once in a while I'll take a night off, like last night I didn't. So today I definitely have to. I mean, in fact, I'm planning on doing a lot of walking this weekend. I want to do more than 8,000 a day. I've also ordered some better shoes, so hopefully that will be a little bit easier. I've been wearing just some comfortable but just kind of cheap shoes. I usually like Brooks, and I don't know why. Last year I got into hiking, so I bought some hiking boots, and I just didn't buy a pair of tennis shoes, brand name tennis shoes. The ones I have are fine, but anyway, I've ordered some Brooks, so looking forward to that. And I ordered they call it a mini treadmill, lightweight. It doesn't have like the big, like, I don't know, panel, in the front. You can like slide it underneath your bed so you can kind of stow it away. I think it weighs like 35 pounds or something like that, so easy to move. A lot of people prop it up against the wall. Anyway, got it off Amazon. It should be coming next week. I'm mostly going to be using that on bad weather days, especially in the summer when it is 110 degrees outside and I don't want to have a heat stroke. I could just walk on that and watch TV and at the same time and still get my steps in. One of the reasons why I didn't walk last night was because it was kind of cold and rainy, and I was like, you know what, it sounds like a perfect night to take off since this weekend the weather is supposed to be nice and sunny and bright and a little bit on the warmer side, so I'm like, I'll do the walking then. And then sometimes I come home from walking the dogs and I haven't reached that 8,000 steps yet. My neighborhood's kind of small, and trying to go anywhere else on foot, especially with dogs, is a little dangerous. We don't have sidewalks here, and you get to some pretty busy streets, and people are just whizzing by, and it's just, I don't feel safe. People don't, there's like hills and sharp turns, and people literally, they're not used to people walking around, and so they just, plow through those intersections. I mean, it's bad enough when you're in the car, let alone on foot, especially with dogs, and I don't want to go, and get run over by somebody. So I only do my neighborhood, and it's only like maybe 6,000 steps. And so my plan is, then come home and get the rest of the steps while watching TV or whatever. So anyway, so that's that. The other thing is school. I'm on my last semester. I have one class, and like I said, I have a test coming up, and so I'll be studying this weekend, but I am still looking forward to graduating. My brain has been buzzing with if I want to do something for graduation, like a party or something, so I'm not going to get into that because I'm still like trying to decide, but my brain literally just cannot stop thinking about it. I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't wait. I did order a class ring. It's not a traditional ring, but that's fine because I'm not a traditional student, but I really wanted something, and like I said, I got it off at Amazon for like $35, and it's custom made, like engraved, and I got to pick the stones, so it worked just fine. So I can't wait for that to come in. I gotta think about ordering my cap and gown and all that crazy stuff. So yes, that is a big thing going on right now. The only other thing is spring is somewhat here in Texas, and so I am getting geared up to start doing some gardening. I'm not going to be doing a normal vegetable garden like I have been. Last fall I actually deconstructed my vegetable garden and created what I call a cinder block wall garden. And so what I'm going to be doing is in the wall, the holes of the cinder blocks, I bought some cheap pots to go in there to stick in, and then I'll put the soil in there and put plants in there, so that way there's at least some plants. Plus I want to do some more, you know, I gotta put some flowers out in other hanging pots and in a little strip flower bed out in the front yard. So I'm probably gonna do that next weekend. This weekend I'm just busy doing the walking and the studying. But next weekend, hopefully it'll be nice and warm and sunny like it is this weekend, maybe even a little bit warmer. And I could just spend all weekend just playing in the dirt. Now, last weekend, I did go out and in the front flower beds, I did pull weeds. And so I pretty much like prepped the area for the flowers. So at least I got that done, because trying to do that and then planting is a lot to do in one day. And in fact, I was pretty tired about that after that. But so everything is prepped and ready. I just got to go out and buy the plants and buy lots of dirt. But yeah, I think that is about it. So I am going to go and get some lunch together because I just got home from work. I work a half day on Fridays. And then probably go ahead and get the project ready for the walking sock. The walking sock. And that way, and then go study real quick. I'll probably study a chapter and then go for a walk afterwards and then come back and do some more studying. But anyway, you don't need to know my day schedule. But that's the plan. So, all right. Well, it was wonderful seeing you guys. I hope you have enjoyed this. I know it's been a little rough. I always feel like I talk a million miles a minute. But I'm also trying to keep this like energetic and entertaining to you guys, so I kind of do it on purpose. I don't want to be a dullard, I guess. But anyway, you guys have a wonderful weekend. I'm hoping to post this right away. And welcoming spring for everybody that's in more of the south part. I think in the north they're still having snow, so there'll probably be spring like maybe the next episode. Sorry. But you guys get better summers. I guarantee it. All right. Have a good one. Bye.